two books. Now I could also decide now that I want to look at these same books within that lifestyle range. So I click find. It's going to keep the two I've already selected. Let's see. You'll notice I still have the check mark. But it's also given me books below that are just in this filter of this lifestyle range. So I can add those. When you're finished adding the books to your collection, there's not a save button here at this point. So you just click off of this box, outside of this box in your screen. And now I have two books here because that's what I did. And then click on the X, and here's your two books in that reading tab. Now if I want to, I can add an all-purpose tab, which again can be anything, whether it relates to MyOn or does not, if it relates to this topic. So again, a Venn diagram, a T-chart, a story map, a labeled diagram, a vocabulary list, any of those things would fit that. And write your objective. And then it's going to be listed here. The third option is a writing tab. So if you add a writing tab, this one looks a little different. Maybe I want the title of this to be to write and what's my objective? Include, whatever you want your objective to be for this writing tab. And then you can also select peer review, which lets your students know that they need to, once you click on this, other people can see their writing and another student can review it for them. You can also select to add how many words you want to be part of this, or you can leave that blank. And then you can add checklist items, which would basically make like a rubric for your students. So if I add a checklist item, I can type in however many I want there, one at a time. And it shows up for the student. So maybe I want to make sure that maybe I want to make sure that, depending on what type of writing you're doing, and if you're really following your English language standards, is the author's purpose clear to the reader? Did you, include colorful vocabulary? However whatever you want those to say, you can add as many as you would like. And then if you don't want to use it, click on the X and it'll take it away. And when you're finished, click here, and whatever you've added will be saved in your project here. Now, if you wanted to go back and add books or remove books, again, you're just going to click here where it says Reading tab, and click that gear, and manage, and then you can take those books off by unchecking, or you can add new books by adding new ones below that. And when you're finished editing all of this, you're going to want to save. And so to answer your question, Audrey, about making a project with various level books, for this title, I could keep all of this the same, and I could change the books that I have in that book set and say Forces in Motion, and I could name it by what group I'm going to assign it to based on level. Or I can actually put the the level. You know, I can say lifestyle 200 to 500.
Okay.
And then click save. Once you've saved that project, in order to assign it, then you just click here where it says assign. Did I already say this? I can't remember.
That's okay, go ahead.
You click assign, and then you can assign it if you want to see everyone in your building, or if you want to assign it to fifth graders as the librarian or the tech teacher or whatever the case may be. However you want to do that. So you just select who you want to assign it to. Now, to unassign this, let's say we studied astronomy back in November, and if my students were going to complete it, then they have already done so. So I would go here to assign, and just take that check mark off. And to remove it from everyone, or just add it to everyone, see up here at the top where it just says name, before you're getting into each student, you can just check that and it will take everyone at this off or add everyone. And then apply your change, and it will either remove it from their page or put it on their page. Also, I want to mention that once you've created more than one project and you started to assign them, they will be divided in two categories. Either active projects, which will be at the top, or inactive projects, which will be down below. Obviously, inactive means it's not assigned. So if you unassign a project to someone, you can still keep it in your library of projects for next school year, but now it's inactive. And then once you assign it, it becomes active again and moves up here to the group under active projects. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Okay, in talking about forces in motion, I'm going to go back to the library really quickly. Actually, out of search, because I do want to show you this one title, and I love to use it. Graphic novels are great. We have a lot of fantastic content for science through graphic novels. So if I just type in forces in motion within the library, oh dear, that can't be correct. However, you'll see there's quite a few. This is one I love to use. This one, we have, I don't know if you've heard of Max Axiom. He's a character in a book. And he has a huge series of science content graphic novels. And there's two types. He has one for the older elementary students, one for the younger ones. The younger ones are called activities. And then the older ones is just the title itself. So I'm going to click on this because I want to demonstrate this for you really quickly. And I'm going to show you a great way to see what's in a book that you may want to use for lesson plans. So I clicked on read. And over here, on the sidebar, once you open that, if you'll click here where it says other pages, and go, if the book has a glossary included in it or table of contents, you can see all that here, more about forces in motion. I'm going to go here where it says index, because I want to show you all of the content that's within this one book. Acceleration, Isaac Newton. So you could basically use this to write your lesson plans on what you're going to cover just by using this one book. And then you go back to the actual book to read it and leave this page. You're going to click this little reset, refresh button.
She said that. I didn't did it. That's what how you did it. Yeah, but that's why I didn't see it. Is it at the bottom?
Get some stuff on the side. Yeah, nice. Click on this. Up there.
Okay, so you can see that this is probably going to really capture your students' attention and keep them engaged much more than your science textbook, right?
Yes.
And so there's so many within this series. So if you wanted to just search math axioms, I don't even know, I think there's maybe 30 titles. You've got, let's see, cell life, digestion, ecosystems, volcanoes. I mean, probably anything you could think of that you would be teaching, he's got a book on. So, and the kids will love them, of course, because they're like comic books. And I always think of what a great way to kick off your unit of study with one of these would be, you know, if you were studying, I don't know, whatever you're, I'm going to just type in search, I'm going to type in. Chemical reactions, hurricanes, photosynthesis. If you just open this book and, you know, whip through it, or maybe you open up this book and you decide to have a review before you study about introducing the topic and you can look at the glossary. You can do that with your students and ask them to read this at home. So I always like to point these out because I think they're so great. Anyone have any questions?
Everybody okay? All right, no, we're okay.
Okay, great. Does everyone feel okay about projects, about creating groups?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think so.
Yes.
Okay, great. So if I'm in the library and I want to go back and create a group or a project, I'm going to just click here where it says classroom and either go to students or I can go to project. Also, you can access reports. If you click on report, you'll see the reports that are available for you. One of them is, you know, I think it's a great one, lifestyle report. You can obviously see this just through your dashboard. You can see your students' lifestyle report by clicking on their name. But you can run a report if you needed that for documentation purposes. If you click here, it will run this report for you. And you can run it by class, so if you're an administrator, your date and click run report. If you're an administrator and you're into your administrative account, it will show all your classes. You can run by student